Welcome to the latest edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Catie Sharp, and here are top items. A memorial bench and plaque will be installed in Station Street, Seaford, in honour of murdered local Cameron Smith. Mr. Smith was tragically killed last December in an incident that distressed the community and led to a review of security procedures in the area. Mr. Smith's family reached out to State Member for Carrum, Sonia Kilkenny, who threw her support behind the request and is funding the plaque. Frankston Council will fund and complete the retaining wall modifications needed. Mr. Smith's former boss and workmates plan to build the bench themselves. Ms. Kilkenny said Mr. Smith's father wanted a place to sit and reflect on the preciousness of life. Our veterans have been in the news this week. The House of Representatives has voted to support a royal commission into veteran suicides. Research shows that more veterans have died by suicide than in war or warlike operations. We spoke to MP for Dunkley Peter Murphy about the decision.
We need to have a royal commission into veteran suicides because that's what veterans tell us that we need. It's hard to believe, but the suicide rate in veterans is twice that of the Australian population, and over the last 20 years more veterans have died by suicide than have died in combat. There are veterans in our parliament. Senator Jackie Lambie is obviously a very well-known veteran who has pushed for this, and you've got to give her huge credit for that. There are veterans in the Labor Party, there's veterans in the Liberal Party, all of whom want a royal commission so that more people don't die. And veterans in our community in Dunkley have come up to me on the street, to tell me that they need a royal commission and to thank me for standing up for it. So that's what we'll keep doing. He didn't oppose the motion that went through the Parliament to establish a royal commission, and I give credit to the veterans in the Liberal Party and in the government for really pushing Scott Morrison to that position. But as I'm talking to you right now, he has not announced a royal commission, and I happened to bump into Senator Lambie on the plane on the way home yesterday, and she confirmed to me he has not told her that there will be a royal commission, and she's not going to let up, and neither am I. But there needs to be a comprehensive investigation of the complex reasons why veterans are killing themselves at twice the rate of the rest of Australians.
Meanwhile, Frankston RSL is appealing for help raising money for veterans in the lead-up to Anzac Day. After a year without fundraising, they are back selling Anzac badges and are hoping to fill the gap created by last year by encouraging people to dig deep for those who serve. RPPV spoke to Kevin Hillier, President of Frankston RSL, about the challenges they face.
The appeal is very important this year because of last year, the COVID situation last year, where we were very restricted in the amount of funds that we were able to raise for the welfare of our veterans. And a comparison between the 2 years, as far as Anzac Day goes, in 2019 we raised over $28,000. And last year during COVID, we only raised $545. That's from the general community. We still put in support welfare through funding from the RSL. So this year we've gone and added new things in, some new badges, some more expensive badges, which look fantastic, new pens and memorabilia like that so that people can hang on to it, and it is a worthy thing to have and carry and to wear to show your support to the veterans. But right across the peninsula, all the RSL clubs, and there's 7 from Frankston right down to Portsea Sorrento, and you'll find in shopping centres, in just general shops, but mainly supermarkets and places like that. But also all the schools in Frankston have been given a box of badges, and most of the schools, well, all of the schools do support us. Some a little bit better than others, and some of them are getting a little competitive about it, I think, as well, to see who can raise the most money. And I must say, if I could mention one school, Pearsdale Primary School, at Remembrance Day last year, didn't cause us angst, but we had to keep on going back and topping up their box of badges because they were encouraging the students, and they have a close relationship with our Vietnam veterans as well here in Frankston. But they certainly bought up big, and I think probably every student at the school had bought a badge by the end of the week. One of the things that we noticed at Remembrance Day last year, at very late notice, we were able to actually go into a couple of shopping centres, and we found that the people were just making donations. They understood the situation we were in, and using FPOS, which has become the way of the world. So people were just coming up with their card and just making a donation, not even taking a badge sometimes, but just because of the situation and understanding that we'd missed out so much earlier in the year, they really did support it. So I'm hoping that 2021 we'll see a great upsurge in that donation at work as well.
Mornington Peninsula Shire has been quick to clarify that the decision to withdraw from a VCAT administrative enforcement meeting last week does not mean they are walking away from negotiations with the Peninsula Aero Club. Shire CEO John Baker said Friday's hearing was about enforcement, and as discussion with the PAC had recommenced in recent months, it was not needed. He said the current focus is to hold without prejudice conversations to head off future VCAT proceedings. Councillor Paul Mercurio added that their aim is to come to a balanced, fair and workable resolution for all parties concerned. The Peninsula Preservation Group published an open letter in the Age newspaper and Morn Pen News this week, calling on the Ross Trust to withdraw its plans to open a new quarry on Arthur's Seat. According to Neil Mitchell of 3AW, the letter, which was signed by more than 75 organisations and key people, signalled the beginning of an all-out environmental war on the peninsula. Environment groups that signed the letter include Environment Victoria, Friends of the Earth, Landcare and Australian Conservation Foundation. Local tourist attractions including the Peninsula Hot Springs and Ashco Maze were also on board, along with a number of local wineries, breweries and restaurants. PPG President Dr Mark Fansett, who appeared in an interview with RPPV late last year, said the Ross Trust can be a philanthropic charity focused on conservation, or it can be the developer of a new open-cut mine. It can't be both. RPPV has had an open invitation to the CEO of the Ross Trust to discuss his plans since last year. After 8 months of work, the renovation of the Hastings boat ramp is complete and is now open. One of the busiest ramps in all of Victoria, the new 4-lane ramp extends deeper into Western Port Bay. The next stage is to dredge the bay, ensuring access in all tides. This final work should be complete by mid-2021 and will be timed to reduce the impact on people using the new ramp. And Frankston Arts Centre has unveiled its 2021 season. The lineup includes a Melbourne International Comedy Festival roadshow, Opera Australia's Carmen, Sydney Dance Company's Impermanence, new works performed by the Australian Ballet School, a production of George Orwell's Animal Farm, and a number of children's shows including Brass Monkeys and The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Now that restrictions are almost entirely lifted, it's time to plan a great night out and support your local arts community. Details and bookings are on the Frankston Arts Centre website. We go now to other stories happening across Frankston and the Peninsula.
JobKeeper and JobSeeker massively adjusted.
Yes.
Big numbers, frightening numbers that you've alluded to in Frankston with the implications of all that coming off in this week.
Yep.
What is going to happen? What are we going to do?
So JobKeeper ends entirely on Sunday. There's 9,800 or so people in Dunkley who are still getting JobKeeper to stay in their job, and that's about 3,200 businesses. So what we are very concerned about is the number of businesses that are going to have to lay off their staff. And you know, Brendan, because you speak to them a lot, small businesses, their staff are like their family most of the time, and they are not going to want to lay off their staff, but they're going to have to survive. There are also businesses that just aren't going to be able to continue to survive. So I'm very worried about that. And add on top of that, that the government cut JobSeeker down. It's now back to $43.75 a day. So people are going to lose their jobs and then go onto unemployment benefits that's not enough to live on. That's what I'm really worried about. I hope that our economy recovers faster than we think. I hope that most of our businesses will be able to keep their staff on, but the reality is a lot of them aren't going to be able to. There's already businesses like travel agents in this electorate who are living through the crisis still. You know, international borders are closed and will be for some time. They're not getting assistance, and now we're going to add some 3,200 businesses who will lose JobKeeper.
Now to the coming week's weather report with Nicola.
Hello, I'm Nicola, your guest weather host this week with your RPPV 7-day forecast. Saturday the 27th of March sees a partly cloudy day with a 70% chance of rain. We should reach a top of 20 with a low of 14. Sunday sees much the same but with a little less rain. It should be slightly warmer with a top of 21 and a low of 12. Monday brings a cooler day with some rain still around. Our top will drop to 19 and we will have a low of 13. Tuesday will see much the same as Monday, but with less rain. We will be looking at a top of 19 and a low of 11. On Wednesday, we see a bit of warmth returning just before the Easter weekend. It will be partly cloudy with a top of 23 and a low of 11. Thursday brings us a beautiful sunny day with a top of 28 and a low of 13. And lastly, Easter Friday will be a partly cloudy day with a top of 24 and a low of 15. That's all for now. Enjoy the week ahead and I will see you next time.
And to our surfing guru Muzz with the Surf Report.
Hey guys, Muzz back here with this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. Despite the southeasterly gales, east southeasterly gales we've had the last couple of days, we did get a couple of waves in between on Sunday afternoon and on Monday. So there were some fun little beach breaks around, which was a bit of a surprise considering how strong that wind had been sort of through Friday and Saturday especially. So if you got in the water, that was good. The water surprisingly was still warm considering you usually get the southeast upwelling when that wind blows. Unfortunately, it has gone back around to that southeast direction, not as strong, but that's just because of the weather up further north is squeezing this high down. But we are expecting a southwesterly change probably Thursday, and also a jump in the swell. So there is a chance we'll start seeing some autumn conditions. Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, even some northwesterly winds maybe if we're lucky. So swell's not going to be massive, but there'll be waves through that period if you want to hunt around. Probably small waves in Western Port Bay. Maybe Flinders, even solid waves on the beaches because there will be times the wind will be just around to the north, but looks like Thursday, Friday into Saturday, definitely northwest to westerlies to southwesterlies as the day progresses. So I hope you're getting the surf. I did, and it was good and it was fun and it wasn't as crowded as it has been, so that's sort of one of the blessings of being a local and the conditions change. So hope all you guys got to surf and I will see you soon.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.